Hello students, today I am going to start our new chapter, that is the respiratory system, and the chapter number that is 14. So what is respiration? What is respiration and what is the need for respiration? So in your previous chapter you have read that in digestion what happens, that food that changes into glucose and other things. Now this glucose, it cannot be absorbed by the body directly, or it cannot release energy directly. There are different chemical reactions where this glucose that changes into energy, and it requires the presence of oxygen. So what is a respiration? Respiration is the chemical processes of releasing energy from glucose, energy for glucose for carrying out life processes. So energy that releases from glucose, that is necessary for all metabolic activities. So it is the need for respiration. Now the respiration that is continuous throughout the life, and in this chapter what we will discuss the raw material that is required and products formed, amount of energy liberated, etc. Now what is the main reaction, that is C6H12O6, that is glucose plus oxygen, then it releases energy, carbon dioxide and water. So this is the process of respiration where glucose in the presence of oxygen that releases energy and formed carbon dioxide and water. Now there are 5 important points to remember about this chemical reaction in respiration. First one, that this part of respiration that is also known as cellular respiration, because this is happen in the cells individually. Now the breakdown of glucose to carbon dioxide, for example this glucose that is changes into carbon dioxide, it is not only a single step, it is a multi-step reaction. Here there are series of chemical steps are here. Next is each breakdown step is due to a particular enzyme. For example this glucose is changes into this one, this requires a specific enzyme. The next one, that is the energy liberated in the breakdown of the glucose molecule, is not only heat, it has also energy released, that is ADP, that is known as adenosine triphosphate, which is the energy currency. Next is the essential steps of respiration in animals and plants that are same. So next is the why we need energy. What is the need of energy in our body? So first of all, synthesis of proteins from amino acid that require energy, production of enzymes with the help of energy, contraction of muscles for movement, conduction of electric impulse in a nerve cell, keeping the body warm, and production of new cells by cell division. These all the steps, they require energy. Now the third one, that is the animals need more energy. Why animals need more energy as compared to others? Because they have to perform various physical work. They have to move about for the sake of food, or they chew the food, their food, that requires also energy. They look after their eggs or young ones, and they also, some organisms, they run away to escaping enemies. So these all are the conditions, that's why animals need more energy. Next topic is birds and mammals need still more energy. Why birds and mammals? Because these are warm-blooded animals. These both birds and mammals, including us, we are warm-blooded animals. So warm-blooded animals, they produce a lot of work, lot of heat for keeping the body warm. So that is also due to the presence of energy. So energy is required by the birds and mammals still more. Next, that is the Here is one term also, shivering and clattering of teeth. Why it happens? For maintaining the equilibrium. It is an emergency activity of human body or activity of the muscle cells to produce extra heat to keep body warm. Now, glucose has no alternative for respiration. For example, glucose that releases energy in our body. So it is the energy currency of our cell. If the simple carbohydrate is not available directly, what our body do? For example, there are proteins in our body, then body break down these proteins into amino acids and change into glucose, and rest of the amino acids or nitrogenous bases, they are excreted in the form of urea. So from proteins our body can make the glucose, and glucose that changes into the energy. For example, the flesh eater animals are there. The flesh eater animals, they eat protein rich diet. So they have less content of carbohydrates. So in that case, proteins that changes into glucose for the sake of energy. Now next is the two kind of respiration. Two kinds of respiration are aerobic anaerobic. As the name explains, aerobic means in the presence of oxygen and anaerobic means in the absence of oxygen. Aerobic in humans, aerobic respiration is present because we respire in the presence of oxygen. Anaerobic respiration is only by worms that are live in our intestine. They are anaerobic organisms. So generally humans have aerobic respiration. Now anaerobic respiration is there in humans body when we do some physical work or exercise or running, etc. Then what happen? Our body muscles they produce lactic acid. They work in the absence of oxygen and they produces lactic acid. And after some time of physical work or exercise, we feel fatigue. Why? Because of the accumulation of lactic acid. When lactic acid accumulates in our muscles, then we feel fatigue. So it is the example of anaerobic respiration in our body. Now accumulation of lactic acid that gives the feeling of fatigue, and this is a condition which may be called oxygen debt. Oxygen debt. These all terms you already know because these are told by me in your physical education chapter. These are aerobic, anaerobic respiration, accumulation of lactic acid, oxygen debt, and many others. Now the chemical steps in respiration. What are the chemical steps in respiration? Same reaction, C6H12O6 in the presence of oxygen give rise to carbon dioxide, water, and 686 kilocalorie energy. In the form of ATP, we can write it same C6H12O6 plus O2, carbon dioxide, water plus (38) ATP means adenosine triphosphate, and 420 kilocalorie of energy. So this is a chemical reaction of changing of glucose to energy. Now anaerobic respiration. What happens in anaerobic respiration? C6H12O6. So It is a respiration where oxygen is absent. So here is not oxygen but the lactic acid that is formed here. Lactic acid plus 2 ATP and there is energy. Here only 2 ATP is formed and here 38 ATP is formed. So anaerobic respiration, it produces lactic acid. What are the different characteristics of this anaerobic respiration? First of all, it happens in the absence of oxygen. Product is lactic acid, no carbon dioxide. Here carbon dioxide is produced, no carbon dioxide is produced, and total energy released that is very less as compared to anaerobic respiration. Now the next is parts of respiration. Parts of respiration: breathing, gaseous transport, tissue respiration, and cellular respiration. So what is breathing? Breathing is the intake of air and exhale the air. Here is a common misconception that many people wrongly say we inhale oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. This is wrong. We inhale air containing much oxygen and less carbon dioxide, and when we exhale there is less oxygen and more carbon dioxide. So what is breathing? Breathing is a physical process in which the atmospheric air is taken in and forced out. Now second part of respiration is a gaseous transport. So how gaseous transport that takes place? The oxygen that absorbed by the blood. Oxygen comes and absorbed by the blood. Now from blood it goes to here oxyhemoglobin that make, and the carbon dioxide from the tissues that attaches after that with blood, and then oxygen that is given to the lungs as bicarbonates that dissolved in plasma as partially and in combination with the hemoglobin of RBCs as carbaminohemoglobin. So what happens in gaseous transport? The oxygen that is absorbed by the blood, oxygen is absorbed by the blood in the lungs that is carried by the RBCs known as oxyhemoglobin throughout the body by means of arteries. The carbon dioxide from the tissues, they are transported to the lungs by the blood by means of veins, and by two ways: bicarbonates that dissolve in plasma and in combination with the hemoglobin of RBCs as carbaminohemoglobin. Now third one, that is tissue respiration. So the terminal blood vessel, that is the capillaries, they delivers the oxygen to the body cells or tissues where oxygen diffuses through their thin walls, and the capillaries, they pick up the carbon dioxide released by them. This is the tissue respiration. And cellular respiration that occurs inside the cell to release energy from glucose. Cellular respiration has two phases: glycolysis and Krebs cycle. This happens inside the cytoplasm, and Krebs cycle that happen inside the mitochondria. In glycolysis, glucose that change into pyruvate, and in Krebs cycle that pyruvate changes into ATP and carbon dioxide. Here hydronium ion that is formed, and for the removal of this hydronium ion, oxygen that is required. When oxygen come in contact with this H positive, H2O formed, and that is released by the body. So this is the parts of respiration: breathing, gaseous transport, tissue respiration and cellular respiration. Now, next we will discuss the respiratory organs. Now the respiratory organs. So what are the respiratory organs? Nose, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi and alveoli. Now nasal chambers, pharynx, larynx, trachea, and here you can see trachea, the lungs, the alveoli, bronchial, these all are the respiratory organs. Now first one, that is the nose. Here is the nose. Nose, that is the external part of the nose that bears two nostrils. You can see in your body that there are two nostrils and that are separated by a cartilaginous septum. The hairs, they are also present in the nostrils and they prevent large particles from entering the respiratory system. The two nasals, here the two nasals, they open into a nasal chamber, and the inner lining of the nasal chambers perform three functions, that it makes the inner layer moist, it warms the air which is passes through them, and its mucus secretion entraps harmful bacteria or other particles. So always breathe from the nose and not from the mouth. An additional function of the nose is smell. Now the next is the pharynx. Here pharynx is located after the nasal chamber. The pharynx, it is a wide variety. It is a wide space or wide cavity, the pharynx, situated at the back of the mouth, and it is common passage for air and food. It leads into an air tube. Here pharynx that leads into food pipe. Here is a food pipe and here is a larynx or trachea. Trachea, that is windpipe, and here is food pipe. There is a common opening here, but here is a structure that is known as epiglottis. During swallowing, what happens? Epiglottis, that is a flap-like structure that closes, and the food that is come into the food pipe, and whenever the food is not here, it collapses. Food pipe that is collapsed, and during the respiration, the air that comes into this windpipe. Now the next one is the larynx. Larynx, here the larynx, it is also known as voice box. It is a hollow cartilaginous structure and it is also known as Adam's apple. When you swallow something, this part rises. Here you can see this part rises. In voice, it is visible clearly. The larynx contains two ligamentous folds called vocal cords, and air expelled forcibly through the vocal cords, vibrating them, producing sound. The next one, that is the trachea. Here you can see the trachea. Trachea, or we can call it windpipe. It emerges from the larynx. So here is the larynx and trachea emerges from the larynx. It is down below in the neck, where it partially covered with, here somewhere is thyroid gland, and it is covered with, here you can see the C-shaped cartilaginous rings are present in this trachea. What is the function of rings? Rings provide flexibility and keep the trachea distended permanently. Now next is the trachea. Here is the division is known as bronchi. Here you can see trachea that divide into bronchi. First of all, they divide into two and goes to respective lungs. These are known as primary bronchi. Then this primary bronchi in each lung, they divide into two and known as secondary bronchi. These secondary bronchi, these are still divided into finer tubes and known as tertiary bronchi. Next, after tertiary bronchi, they divide into bronchioles, and bronchioles, they again divided into alveoli. And there are cartilaginous membranes, they are present here from trachea to primary bronchi. Then there is alveolus. Alveoli or air sacs, here the exchange of gases that takes place. Now, a network of blood capillaries surrounding the wall of each alveoli. Now, here is a network of blood capillaries, they surrounding each alveoli. Oxygen from air first dissolves in a thin layer of water fluid that covers the surface of alveoli. Here the gas exchange takes place. How the gas exchange takes place? From pulmonary artery, carbon dioxide that given out to alveoli, and from alveoli the oxygen that is given out to pulmonary vein. So in this way, gaseous exchange that takes place in the alveoli and between the pulmonary artery and vein. Now, what are the protective inner lining of respiratory passage? The entire inner lining of the larynx, trachea, bronchi and bronchioles is formed of ciliated epithelium. During lifetime, the cilia are constantly in motion, driving any fluid such as mucus that is on them and also any particles that may have come in the air towards the mouth. Now, next one is the lungs. Now, what are lungs? Lungs are a pair of spongy and elastic organs, and they are formed by the air sacs. They are connecting bronchioles, blood vessels, alveoli, etc. The two lungs are roughly cone shaped. From upper side it is cone shaped and here it is rectangular. After that there are two lungs. This left lung that is smaller than the right lung, because left lung has to accommodate the heart in its body. Now there are membranous covering of the lungs. What are the membranous covering? Each lung that is covered by two membranes, outer that is parietal and inner that is visceral pleura, and fluid here is present that is pleural fluid. This arrangement provides lubrication for free movement of expanding and contracting lungs.